So Rob, I've been riding my bike around town. I feel like I'm taking my life in my hands. Edgewood Avenue, Elm Street, everywhere. There are these huge craters, potholes, like they're coming up like dirt. What's going on?
Well, the good news is we're planning on doing a lot of paving this year. We're investing more in street paving and a little less in sidewalk paving than we have in past years, because we do recognize that there are a lot of streets that are in pretty rough condition.
So how did we get to the state where there were so many more potholes and they're getting deeper?
Well, I think there's been a lot of deferred maintenance over the years with the city. The last couple of years, the city's tried to invest enough to keep pace, but we have a lot of roads that haven't been paved in many, many years, and it's just catching up with us. Potholes come from really two different reasons. The first is just the road gets old and has a lot of wear. You can see sometimes there'll be a crack running down the middle of the street, or a good example of that is Broadway. If you stop at the lights there, the road is all wavy, and the road's wavy because although that isn't too old in terms of being paved, you have a lot of traffic stopped there, and just the weight of their tires and stuff wears out the road. The first way that potholes come up is just the road gets old or it gets a lot of traffic. The second way, which is much more common in paving, is you get a street cut. And in front of us we have good examples of that.
So here we are on York Street.
We're on York Street, which is being paved this year. So all this will be a new tablet.
And I see some potholes developing right here.
Yeah, right here. And you can see there was a road cut. There's a trench that was cut, and the pothole is forming at the edge of where the road originally was and where the patch to this road cut was.
And when was that done?
I don't know when this one was done.
So patching roads creates potholes down the road?
Yeah, a road is never as strong after you cut it open and do utility work and fill it in as it was before you cut into the road.
Is there any way we could talk to utility companies about changing what they do?
That's a lot of what we're doing. Whenever possible, we talk to them beforehand and say, we're planning on paving this road. If you have anything scheduled in the near future, please do it now, because we're going to pave it.
And have you had examples where that communication broke down?
Sure, we've had examples where that has broken down, and that's why we work so hard on it right now. The other thing is patch jobs vary tremendously. You can have a very good permanent patch job that lasts for a long time, or you could have what we call a temporary patch that ends up being permanent because nobody comes back and does a real good job filling it in. And we're working on, that's one of the things that we're working on the most to try to do, because so many of our potholes are caused by these road cuts.
So preventive medicine.
Preventive utility that does a lot of these. But like a contractor who may be hooking up a water line to the main line, cuts into there. Most of them don't have a contractor on call to do the permanent patch, so they pay us to do the permanent patch. And in years past, it had gotten to the point where we were falling behind. Maybe it took us 2 years to get to do a permanent patch. And if you let a temporary patch sit for 2 years, it's going to fall
That's part of how we got in the mess.
So that's part of how we got in the mess. One of the things that helps a lot is we're finally making a big investment in the IT structure for our permits.
Information technology.
Information technology. So being able to track and being able to say, come back to this road cut that's falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll say, who made this road cut? Was it done by the gas company? And if it was done by the gas company, was it done within the last 5 years? And if it was done in the last 5 years and we see it happening like that, we'll go back to the gas company and say, you have to redo that. We're making a lot of investment this year on main roads and downtown roads because they've gotten pretty rough. George Street, Crown Street, York Street, where we're here. Whitney Avenue is being repaved. I know that's something that's on a lot of people's top list.
Right, Whitney's awful.
Yeah, parts of Chapel, parts
Edgewood.
Parts of Edgewood, parts of a lot of Derby, and Sherman. A lot of the main roads.
The upside for citizens might be if we're on a bicycle or foot and we get hurt going in a pothole, we can sue the city, right? Because you're self-insured.
We are self-insured. And
Any potholes?
now we can track down who was supposed to have paved that pothole.